we've answered probably 100,000 emails in the course of our ministry. You start to get a sense of what people are about when they email you. And some people, they're just flat out open and they just want to say something. And other people are strategizers, especially the Calvinists and Mormon apologists. They're real strategizer. And they think that, we're not going to be able to see through what they're doing. Well, Matt here, he writes this, not Matt Slick. Matt writes this, Matt Nelson, and he said, why did you leave the LDS Church? Where did you find out it was not true? He doesn't say he's Mormon. He just asked the question. And our response was, hey, Matthew, watch our first show by going here. You'll get a bit of background as to what we do and why. He writes back, I read the page that you referred me to. It seems interesting. How do you know that you were born again? And so far, so good. Maybe he's truly interested. Maybe he's setting it up. We don't know. And our reply is to, how do you know you were born again? I wrote, I knew when I started to love people who I otherwise couldn't love on my own that I was born again. And he asked, what was preventing you from loving other people? And I said, my sinful heart. And he replied, now the curtain drops. How is calling people who follow a particular religion part of a cult and Bible bashing with Mormons loving other people? So I just heard Earl Erskine laugh. He's in the audience tonight. He understands this because there's a setup that goes on, and after a while you're just like, just be honest, just be forthright. I hate your guts. I don't like what you do. Why don't you? I respect that so much more than these strategizers who try to trap you with their words. And so I wrote back, if a carload of people were headed toward a 1,000-foot cliff because the driver was really, really sure that it was the route to take, would it be unloving to say or do almost anything to warn them that they were headed the wrong direction? And he writes back, following a religion and driving down a cliff are two completely different things. They're really not. I mean, just come on, just look at what the parable, what I'm trying to get, right? And it's not in your authority. He goes, if a person is a faithful Muslim, Jew, Mormon, or Hindu, why should you of all people, he uses it several times with me, you of all people receive a better place in the afterlife than them. Now, having found themselves in a corner of late because of the internet, the LDS are starting to embrace a much more, hey, we're all okay. And I see it and I hear it more and more. It's all okay. Because when they do that, then you become the persecutor when you question someone else's belief. It's kind of something that's snowballing around. More and more Christians and people who are ardent in their faith are being called zealots, and they're trying to shut it down. Well, the LDS are smart. They know how to survive. So they're taking that stance too. Well, why can't you just be loving? This is what Matt has taken. And I wrote back, my friend worships an earthworm that tells him to have sex with his cat. My sister is a fundamentalist Muslim who believes in American jihad. My cousin believes that he must take 4 wives to be with God. Is that all okay? No truth with a capital T out there for us to look to, Matt? Is it all relative? How about the Westboro Baptists? Would you warn somebody about joining the Westboro Baptists? Waco? Jim Jones? Would you want your mother to go to Guyana? Where do you draw the line when you see a car headed to go off a cliff and you say, I think I need to warn the driver and the occupants of the car? So we went on and on and on and on, and it got so ugly that the last thing, and I wrote and I said, I know where this is headed, is you're so full of yourself. I sympathize with people who are atheists because of people like you, and it goes on. His whole point is, if a religion is getting its people to better mankind, then nobody has a right to ever challenge the tenets of that faith. And my point was, the Word tells us what to challenge and what not to tell. And as abhorrent and politically incorrect as that may seem in this day and age, that's the way it works. And whatever the Word is telling us and suggesting and supported in the Word, we try to use it to the best of our ability to lay lines of what is acceptable to God and what is not. And so we go from there.